to 92. Judges David Sutherland and Chris Migliori both score the bout 98 to 91. All three in favor of the winner, the problem child, Jake Paul.
Grateful for now than anything. And no knockouts. Knockouts don't mean nothing. You got to be able to go the distance. That's fighting.
Everybody has a plan until they get hit. You got hit, and how did it affect you?
I went to plan B. I hit him back.
Mike Tyson dropping a bombshell after losing to Jake Paul. It's the kind of headline that makes you wonder if we've slipped into an alternate universe. But here we are. At 58 years old, the legendary Tyson faced off against Jake Paul and lost, leaving fans stunned. As if that weren't enough, Tyson followed up the defeat with a shocking post-fight revelation that left everyone speechless.
We gotta do this again.
I can already hear half of you shouting that this fight asterisk had asterisk to be rigged, while the other half is still trying to recover from the shock of seeing the ref raise Jake Paul's hand in victory over Mike Tyson. But hey, it's 2024, where the unexpected has officially become the new normal.
I haven't did this in 15, 16 years. I'm not a giant, I'm a beginner.
Did he ever hurt you tonight?
Well, listen, he surprised me with the hook. He hit me with a hook, a good hook.
Hurt.
Yes, it did hurt.
That's why the fight that went down just hours ago at AT&T Stadium was anything but an ordinary boxing match. Nope, this was the kind of spectacle that left the world collectively picking its jaw up off the floor. After months of hype, endless debates, and sky-high expectations, it all came to a head in this showdown, streamed live on Netflix, of course. Because when a 58-year-old Mike Tyson steps into the ring, even Netflix knows it's must-watch drama.
Mike, there's just no appetite for this. It just doesn't make sense. The other thing is Mike having to pull out because of ulcers, like that f***ed it all up. Jake's team's brilliant, so maybe it's a Trojan horse, like I've said before. Hey, just get this across, we'll get the views, and then they're gonna sign 3 fights, some sort of deal, or he gets to the UFC. I don't know. I don't see the
For Tyson, a name that once struck fear into the hearts of opponents, stepping into the ring against Jake Paul, the guy best known for pranking his brother and pitching body spray like it's a survival essential. The storyline was clear and straightforward. Tyson was expected to obliterate Jake Paul, no questions asked. Everyone assumed Mike would steamroll Jake within the first few minutes. End of story.
Friday night when I put this man to sleep, so that is pretty dope.
He dreams a lot.
A lot of dreams.
I knew it, they all come true.
I mean, this is not gonna come true, young.
But then reality did its thing. You know, the part where it smacks you in the face with the unexpected. Jake Paul, the same guy famous for pranks, fat suits, and how many chicken nuggets can I eat? Challenges flipped the script in a way no one saw coming. He didn't just survive in the ring. He landed a knockout punch so devastating that the unthinkable happened. Mike Tyson couldn't get back up. Yeah, you heard that right. Jake Paul, the walking meme, put Iron Mike on the canvas and left him there.
What did you initially think when you heard that Mike Tyson was going to be getting in the ring with Jake?
I was thinking that Jake Paul was going to be in trouble because, you know, Mike Tyson knows how to throw great body punches, great headshots. And, you know, we just have to see if he's going to do them in the ring. I'm hoping that he'll do.
A reality-shattering, universe-breaking moment if there ever was one, leaving fans everywhere rubbing their eyes like they were caught in a collective hallucination. It was the kind of moment that made you question if the world had finally gone completely off the rails.
This is a scary, scary man. He's a killer and has all the power still clearly in all the videos, all the sparring that he's showing, dropping his sparring partners. My mom is messaging, she can't even watch Tyson punch. She won't watch it because it scares her.
But let's rewind for a moment and talk about Jake Paul's reputation, or more accurately, the spectacle that is his public image. This is a guy whose training sessions often resemble pregame tailgates more than serious athletic prep. He's been known to post clips of himself devouring junk food and treating the idea of running laps like it's some cruel medieval punishment.
I have big plans and I'm continuing to, again, do the impossible and show people what I'm capable of. And they chalk up what I've done to fights being rigged. Still, when he posts on his Instagram looking like a killer.
Nobody took him seriously. Boxing purists wrote him off as a joke, a sideshow act, a distraction from the real sport. If you dared to suggest Jake Paul could actually fight, you'd likely be laughed out of any serious boxing discussion. To most, Jake Paul wasn't a contender. He was a punchline. Or so everyone thought.
And that used to bother me. That used to bother me because I was like, no, I'm working so hard. Can't you people see? But now I take it as a compliment because the human peon brain of the 99% can't even comprehend
Can't even get it.
how good I've gotten and what I'm accomplishing in this world.
And yet, behind all the over-the-top antics, Jake Paul was plotting. Beneath the layers of social media foolishness lay a game plan so cunning, you almost have to respect it. Sure, he kept claiming he'd shock the world, but no one took him seriously. Why would they? This was Jake Paul after all.
He's not going to win. I think he thinks this is going to be a very easy night. It's not going to be an easy night.
I don't think that. I think it's going to be a war of ages. The fans are the ones who win out of this, but I know you, I know your soul on a deeper level, and I know myself, and I know you're not going to quit.
But here's the twist. Jake wasn't just all talk. He trained, and trained hard. Away from the spotlight, far from the doubters and trolls, he put in the work. His goal wasn't just to show up and grab a paycheck. He was determined to prove everyone wrong. And when he stepped into that ring, it was clear this wasn't the same guy who'd been goofing off for the cameras.
100%, and I have to stay active. I have to stay working towards my goal of becoming a world champion. So there needs to be 3 fights a year for me at least, and that's how I get better, is under the bright lights and performing when there's adrenaline and nerves.
Mike Tyson stepping into the ring at nearly 58 years old isn't just a sporting event. It's the stuff of legends. I mean, most guys his age are trading in boxing gloves for golf clubs and reminiscing about how they once bench-pressed 200 pounds back in the day. But not Tyson. This is the same guy who, at his peak, didn't just want to beat his opponents. He once said he'd eat their hearts. And guess what?
It's ready to go.
Now, does a loss to Jake Paul damage your legacy?
I don't look at my life as a legacy. Legacy to me means ego. Who the about my legacy? I'm going to be dead soon one day. But he's not going to.
Even as he nears 60, that wild, unstoppable fire inside Tyson hasn't faded one bit. It's 2024, and Tyson could have easily looked at this fight and thought, nah, I'm good, and no one would have batted an eye. Let's be real. Most men his age are worried about keeping their cholesterol in check, not stepping into the ring with a power-punching maniac like Jake Paul.
Round 5 and Jake's looking for the finish. He's hurt! On the ropes! Jake Paul pouring it on here! Analyzing big-time round for Jake.
But there he was, a 57-year-old living legend walking into AT&T Stadium like it was the Roman Colosseum, ready to remind everyone why he's still called the baddest man on the planet. And if you thought he was just there to take a few punches and cash a check, think again. Tyson came to do business. From the very first round, he turned back the clock in a way that had people rubbing their eyes in disbelief.
Unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge of ringside, David Yakabuchi, scores about 97 to 9.
Those infamous uppercuts, the same ones that shattered jaws and dreams in the 80s, were back with a vengeance. Joe Rogan, calling the fight, nearly lost his voice when Tyson landed a brutal left uppercut in round 1. Jake Paul's knees buckled, his hands flailing like he was swatting invisible flies. And for a brief moment, it looked like Jake was about to take an unscheduled nap on the canvas. And let's talk about Tyson's footwork. It wasn't just impressive for a 58-year-old. It was impressive, period. The man hadn't fought at this level in years, but he was ducking and weaving like it was 1988 all over again. Jake Paul, who had swaggered into the fight with cocky confidence, suddenly looked like a kid who'd picked a fight with his dad and instantly regretted it. Tyson's strength, his agility, his complete disregard for the effects of aging, it was all on full display. It was pure, unfiltered, classic Tyson, and it was a sight to behold.
Former undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
But then came the harsh reminder that even legends are human. By round 3, the toll on Tyson's body was undeniable. This wasn't a Hollywood comeback story where the hero stays invincible forever. Twitter exploded with fans jokingly calling these the ulcer-inducing rounds, because watching a 57-year-old Mike Tyson struggle with every strained breath and stiff movement was tough to witness. Yet Tyson never once played the age card. He didn't complain, didn't ask for sympathy. He could have thrown in the towel, and the world would have applauded him just for showing up. But that's not who he is. For Tyson, fighting is about heart and defiance, telling Father Time to take a hike. Just when it seemed his sheer willpower might carry him through, the fight took a turn so wild, it could have been straight out of a Hollywood script. Jake Paul, who had looked one uppercut away from calling it quits, suddenly found a burst of energy that made no sense. Referee Steve Willis was inches away from stopping the fight when Jake was backed into a corner, barely hanging on, as Tyson unleashed a barrage of punches. The crowd was on its feet, waiting for Tyson to seal the deal.
On the ropes, Jake Paul pouring it on here. Realizing big-time round for Jake Paul. Big round, big round, big shot.
Then in the blink of an eye, Jake Paul landed a right hook that made the entire stadium gasp. It wasn't just a counter, it was an earth-shattering comeback punch that flipped the fight on its head. Tyson, who had been in total control, suddenly found himself in trouble. Jake, sensing blood in the water, went on the offensive with a flurry of punches that seemed to swarm Tyson like an angry bee attack. Naturally, social media exploded. Jake Paul steroids started trending within minutes as conspiracy theorists dissected every frame of the fight, trying to prove Jake was juiced. People were digging up old photos, pointing out muscle definition like they were running a CSI investigation. But when the official tests came back clean, it left everyone even more stunned. Turns out, Jake Paul's power wasn't the result of some secret lab experiment. It was simply the result of good old-fashioned training.